Hello, welcome back to Hunter Tuned. Today, I actually sold my dad's lifted CRV. My dad wanted to purchase a Chevy truck, or just like a truck in general, so he can have, a pickup truck. He will utilize a pickup truck a lot more than the CRV that he had. So, like I said, he wanted a pickup truck, so I listed his CRV for sale. And it sold this morning, and there's actually a truck in town that we're going to look at. So I'm just going to start the video off by doing that. And yeah, we're just going to be vlogging, bruh.
Yeah. What up?
I apologize to Kevin Johnson. I know he wanted to see the lifted CRV and videos on it, but I just didn't have the time, man. I'm sorry. The next CRV we lift, I'll be sure to do videos on it, but I messed up.
When's that gonna be?
I have no idea. Alright guys, so we actually ended up negotiating with a guy for my dad, and we got a great deal on a very nice GMC 1500 Sierra 4-wheel drive, extended cab 4-door. It's not a 3rd-door truck, but man, what a nice truck this thing is. It's got high miles, but it's been very well maintained. As you can tell, this thing has literally brand new Kumo Road Venture tires on it. And yeah, everything works. Literally everything works. Yeah. We got it for 1,800 bucks. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. It's got aftermarket mirrors on it. The 4-wheel drive works good. It does have high miles, like I was saying, but I mean, they kind of all do if they've been driven at all. But I mean, the windows work good, the locks work, radio works, heat works, 4-wheel drive works. It's 01, I believe, but man, like the interior is mint. Like the driver's seat doesn't even have like the typical rub wear on the side here.
And it doesn't look like anyone's ever sat in the back seat ever.
Yeah, like back seat is like literally brand new. Brand new. Look at the carpet, dude. It's like brand new. And then he also gave us the center caps for the wheels. And then, yeah, I mean, this truck is just freaking awesome. Honestly, I'm kind of jealous. But whatever. It's got a little bit of rust here on the back, but it's a Wisconsin truck, so it's gonna have some rust. It's got a tow package, trailer brakes, tonneau cover that flew off when I went to go pick these tires up for my truck. I actually just bought these American Racing wheels from a guy. They're American Racing wheels with bad tires, but I want to put a set of good tires on these wheels and then have my other wheels for spares on my truck. I've been talking about doing tires on my truck for like what seems to be all summer, but we'll get there. I gotta find a damn tire machine because I hate paying all the time to get tires mounted because it freaking is expensive to do tires. So I'm trying to find, maybe if anybody's got like a used tire machine, I would really enjoy having a tire machine of my own for the shop.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But yeah, it also has like a big diesel exhaust. This truck honestly looks like a Duramax if you look at it from afar, because it has a big exhaust tip, and it has the catalytic converters are deleted on it. It has a cold air intake, and I think that's it. But man, this truck, I'm super jelly. Give her a little rev. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, she meant.
All the fluids are great. Honestly, this truck seems like it has 50,000 miles on it, but it doesn't. That's why I always tell people, don't be scared of mileage on a truck, because this truck is like perfect. It has an Optima fucking battery in it. It's a couple $100 right there.
I was like, all right.
And the battery is only 2 years old, it looks like.
Yep.
Well, 16. That'd be 3 years. Whatever. It's got a nice cold air intake on it. Perfect. No exhaust leaks. It's got a really small power steering leak down there, but whatever. The guy said he just put a new thermostat in it. It's got brand new coolant. Like, man, what a solid truck, dude.
Yep.
I'm super happy. Alright guys, so we're out at the shop now. I brought my dad's new truck out here because why not? I helped him get it. I get to drive it out here. Right. So anyways, we are working on the CRV again, and I got the axles installed. We got the crank pulley off and the old timing belt off of the thing, because the crank pulley was actually really tight. None of my impacts would take it off, but Christian, a while ago, like 2 years ago now probably, actually gave me his Honda crank pulley tool, which is super cool because this guy just wedges inside the crank pulley and then wedges itself on the frame so you can use a breaker bar without actually spinning the engine over. So I did that, and using that tool, they come off every time if you have a decent breaker bar. So I did that, got the crank pulley off, like I was saying, timing cover is off, and the old timing belt is off of the thing. So I just compared my new timing belt from eBay here. This is that evergreen one I was telling you guys about. Made sure that this belt is the same length as this one, and it is. This belt is pretty fucking cashed. I can't believe I was running that belt, but oh well. So now we pulled the valve cover off of the thing because we have to be able to get the timing belt off. We also had to pull the mount bracket. So this is the motor mount bracket that sits right there. We had to pull that off in order to get the timing belt off and out of there and then be able to reinstall the new one. But we actually pulled the valve cover, and we're pulling the cam caps off, which is just a bunch of 10mm bolts on all these little caps. And we're actually going to pull the cams right out of this thing because the head studs, the bolts that hold the cylinder head to the block, are sitting directly under the camshafts. So we're going to take the cams out one at a time here. Oof. That fucker's chewed. Holy shit. This head is wore out. Holy crap. This cam's definitely got some wear on it. But, oh well. I think she'll be fine. You can definitely see in here that this part of the cylinder head is gone. Like the cam journals are wore out. Just over here though, which is kind of weird. The rockers still look okay. The pads, we're just inspecting those, making sure those are okay. And then we'll pull all these guys off of here. These on the B18s and B20s, they're actually labeled. Like these are intake number 1, and then there's gonna be intake number 2, and then they have arrows that point towards the timing belt. Shop's a mess, guys. We've been thrashing out here on this thing. Pretty much gonna be a whole new freaking car by the time I'm done with it. Intake 3. This fucking head is cash, dude.
Yeah.
Did you see this?
Oh, solid.
Yeah, fuck it.
Run it.
I'm gonna run it. You bet your ass I'm gonna run it.
Right. And shout out to CMS Racing.
CMS Racing.
For the comment in the video of tearing this thing down, because he showed and mentioned how to fix the tranny jack.
And now it works, man, dude.
And now she rips.
Yep.
So.
And the tranny jack, that's an air over one, and I didn't know what that meant, and we didn't know how it worked, but it turns out the thing was so low on fluid that it just didn't do anything. So now we filled the damn thing up with fluid. You hit the button and it just goes right up when you hook air up to it. So that's really cool.
And it's like 7 foot it goes to or something like that.
7 foot, yeah, it's super high. Make sure we get this cam out of here. Kaboom! That side looks fine. It's just the exhaust side right there is fucking wasted. I don't know what the hell. So anyways, guys, we are going to be showing you how to install ARP head studs without removing the cylinder head. So we could remove the cylinder head at this point, honestly, but I don't really want to disturb the gasket or disturb the surfaces. A lot of times if your head gasket is good and you have an OEM style engine, this is actually the better route to go, but because by the time you take the head off, you can distort stuff, pulling it all the way off, and you know, you never know if you scratch something or a new gasket surface just isn't perfect. It's honestly, if you're not going to get the surfaces decked, like head and block, when you take the head off, I think it's best to just do it this way. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take each head stud out one at a time, and we are going to be threading in ARPs. Okay, so we're going to take one head stud out. So I don't know, I think they're 14s. So we're going to take one head stud out. And on the LS here, or B20, the non-VTEC heads, they have two longer head studs in the middle. So the two center ones are longer. Damn, them fuckers were tight. Alright, so we took one stud out, and now we're going to grab one ARP and put it in before we loosen any other ones up. And we're going to torque it right away.
That was a long stud, dude.
Alright guys, so I bought this set of ARP head studs from my friend. They're used, but they're still better than the stock bolts by a long shot. So these things will help clamp down the head and not let it lift and blow a head gasket when we turn the boost up. You can get away with the stock stuff until about 10 pounds of boost, and then after that they usually start to lift a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little assembly lube on the threads, just to, you know, give the threads a little bit of oil so we don't, or so we get a good torque reading. A lot of times if you don't use oil or anything on the threads, it will cause the, it will cause you to get a higher torque reading than what you're actually clamping down because you're working with friction on the threads. So we're just going to thread this guy down as far as it goes. There we go. You just want to get them snug. You don't have to torque the crap out of them. Just get them snug with a ratchet. And then we're going to add some more assembly lube to the top of the threads here. Or what I usually do is I just put it on the bottom of the nut of the ARP. So I'll put a little bit on the washer here. Well, not really. You don't really need it on the washer. Just put a little assembly lube literally directly across the bottom of the nut there, and that will work perfectly. And we'll start to thread this guy on, and then we'll torque it down to like 75 foot-pounds. I think the spec on the ARP is like 65 or 68. I can't remember, but it's not 85 like some people say it is. Like that's, I don't think that's right. 85 is like a lot.
Yeah.
85 for L19s maybe, but not the normal studs.
I forget what we torqued mine to. I think we did like 73.
And there's no need, doing it this way, there's no need to do torque steps because we're taking one out at a time. Alright, so this is 76. God damn it. Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm done.
So we're gonna do that for
all of them.
All of them. What you doing?
Peeling all the old RTV off of the cam seal. So now we got all the head studs installed, guys, and torqued down. Everything went good there. Now we're just putting the cams back in, putting some RTV on the edge of the cam seals before we put the caps down. We're making sure that our cams are facing up, the up arrows are facing up. We don't have to be perfectly in time, but we want to make sure that we're in the ballpark before we bolt everything down, because when we bolt them down, the valves are going to open on some of the cylinders. So we're going to make sure we're up here, and then we're going to set the crank at top dead center before we bolt all the caps back down. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to turn the motor over on the bottom side until we reach top dead center.
TDC.
Alright, so crank's at top dead center. I just adjusted that. Now we can bolt all the caps back down.
Yeah. She's looking good. She's coming back together.
Yes, sir. Alright guys, so we actually got the timing belt all situated now. We got the cam caps all back installed. Distributor, we actually messed up when we put the cams back in the motor, we actually never took the distributor out. And when we put the cams back in, the keyway on the distributor was 180 off. So when I would bolt everything down, the intake cam was actually locked up because the keyway on the distributor is positioned a certain way, so it only goes on one way. So we had to just flip that back around and then put it all back together again. And we got this new timing belt on it. I got the crank pulley back on, the timing cover back on. Everything is in time. These motors are pretty easy to time because if you fuck up, you can just take a wrench on each cam and just jump it whatever way it needs to jump on the teeth here. Usually just leave the crank at top dead center and then put the belt on, and if it's off a tooth or two, just take 2 adjustable wrenches on the cams and just jump 1 tooth in whatever direction you need to until you get it lined up. So that's what I did there. And another cool thing on these is they have little pins that you can pin through the caps, through the cam and through the cap here to get it to line up as well. So yeah. Anyways, guys, that's probably going to be it for today. We did get a lot of the other stuff buttoned up too. We got the shifter linkage back on, the slave cylinder, the starter, you know, miscellaneous stuff here and there. Just little stuff picking away, getting everything kind of done. But yeah, we've had a day today already. But we're going to come back out here tomorrow and get the intake manifold on. I just got a lot of stuff I'm doing throughout the day, so it's not like we're just doing all of it at once. I'm not really in a rush to get this done, but I want to get it done nonetheless, and I want to just make it run good. So next video, we're probably going to take this Skunk 2 intake, and we're going to take this throttle body off the other one, swap them over, put the ideal air control valve from that one onto this one, and then we'll have to clean the surfaces off on the head and on the intake, install our new gaskets, and yeah, we'll be dialed. And then it's just doing the turbo kit after that, really. We can do the intake and exhaust manifold and turbo kit stuff tomorrow, and then we have to modify the radiator mounts as well to run the half-size radiator, so we'll do that. Yeah, little stuff, we'll pick away at it, and when this thing's all done, it's going to be an animal. I'm excited. Hopefully the motor holds up. That's the only thing I'm worried about, but nonetheless, if it blows, it blows. Have a great night and a better tomorrow, guys. We will see you later, and hopefully you enjoyed the video.